I love that.
And then you're
Yeah.
surrendering and receiving that flow of energy because you are aligned with it. Because when we're pushing and we're going and we're doing, we're actually closing in our energies around that heart space, and we're coming out of alignment of that which is aligned with our hearts. So
Yeah.
when you have a talisman, it's like, okay, it reminds you, you asked, right? You did take the time to ask. You
Mhm.
took the time to really be with it, to visualize that, and to put your energy into it. And then it brings you back to your center. And that's what gives it such great power and blessings too in your life. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. I wanted to share one of my talisman that I have recently got going. So I got this really beautiful crystal bowl. It's selenite.
Beautiful.
And for me, I've been really wanting to draw in more of the feminine, surrender the feminine flow, that really beauty, that inspiration, where I don't have to go, 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 get things done, but kind of like sit back and really honor that divine feminine energy. And so in mine, I have at the bottom, I did carve out some runes. And then I added, so this is what I'm going to be doing is I added peony flower, dried flowers. I have rose petal, or rose buds. And then I had these really beautiful cherry blossom trees outside my apartment. And I dried some of those because it was such a feminine, they were just like over encompassing. Like you'd walk through and it was just like this gateway of this
Oh,
feminine energy. So then I put those in my bowl and then I sprinkled
beautiful.
it with rose water. And then I added, I'm such a big sandalwood. Like sandalwood is my connection to
Mm,
the galactic family. Every time I
it's
put it
my
on
favorite.
or infuse myself with it, their presence is so strong. And so for me, and then when I did this, I actually charged it by a fern. I got this fern plant for my birthday. And I love the energy of what the fern brings. And so it was like, but I feel like my fern is kind of more of a masculine energy. Like he is very particular.
Ah,
But I put my bowl underneath the fern to find that balance between both. And so, in the next few weeks, I'm going to just make sure if I want to add any more to it that I will. But then when I feel like this time is up, I'm going to crush this together and then I'll put it with my salts in my Epsom salt baths and to just infuse that into my being that way. And then if I feel like I want to add into a different place, I can definitely add something else here. But this is almost like my energetic talisman to bring that energy of flow back into my life. And so that's so different than
beautiful.
maybe what someone else does for a talisman. But for me, that's
Mhm.
what resonates. That's what makes my soul happy. And it was like I was putting all this attention and energy and support and love into it. And so it means so much to me. But for someone else, it's like, oh, it just looks like a bowl full of dried flowers. But there's such deep spiritual connection for myself that I look at it every day and I'm reminded of my spiritual divine essence. And I'm calling upon that energy with me. And maybe I'll put some in like a little medicine bag, when I do ceremonies and
Yeah.
stuff. And maybe that will be part of my ritual as well. Who knows, right? It's just like
So
a
beautiful, Jen. I
living
love that.
talisman. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Just an
love
example of
that.
what you can do.
Yeah, and it's so simple.
Yeah. Yep.
It doesn't need to be super complicated either. If you only have a few minutes, you can still create a talisman. You
Yeah.
don't have to have this big old extravagant thing either. I mean, it depends on what you want to do and how much time you have. So that is just such a beautiful, beautiful example of how simple and yet powerful
Yeah.
this
Thank
can
you.
be. Yeah.
Absolutely.